This is the Whatever You Say podcast.
And we in here. Is this thing on? Welcome, Whatever You Say podcast. Your man Ivory Town's back in effect. Listen, big show today. Big show today. Shout out to our sponsor, Cibo Alto. CIBO.Alto, ALTO. Check them out on IG. Higher Level Cuisines. That's right, if you know, you know, huh?
If you know, you know.
And a new one, Covington Heat and Air. Shout out to folks at Covington Heat and Air. Hey, I bullshit you not. We had this 2-week run. There's 110, 115 degree heat. My air conditioner had to take a break one day. It was sick. And I called my folks at Covington Heat and Air. Came out, hooked me right up, man, no problem. And didn't even cut my legs off. I promise. Decent numbers, man. Shout out. Covington Heat and Air. Check them out on Instagram. Now, business is out the way. I told you, big show today. It's a special. We haven't been running this podcast that long. And I appreciate everybody who came through and gave me some time. But we're kind of leveling up on this one. And if you're from OKC, you've seen this dude all over the place, all on TV. I don't even know what to call him. Hip-hop artist, rapper, entrepreneur, mentor, activist, pizza shop owner. But I do know one thing. He's an Emmy Award winner. Welcome, my man, to the Whatever You Say podcast for the very first time, Mr. Jabee Williams.
What up?
How we doing, man? What's the deal?
I'm chilling, man. I like how you said for the very first time, just make sure I come back. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there you go.
Sometimes people will be like, yeah, come do a podcast or do an interview. Then like, man, you know what I'm saying? It'd be so good. You want to go back and do it. Like, we already had you on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
Just for real, somebody going to say, we already had you on, JB? Never mind.
I mean, it's been said, yeah, but we got I always like to double back sometimes. So yeah.
Hey man, if it was good the first time, and that vibe was there, why not?
No doubt.
Why not? Did you bring the Emmy?
Nah, I didn't. You didn't tell me.
No Emmy. I want the Emmy in the house.
Yeah.
Let's start right there, man. How the hell did that come along?
So I wrote and performed in a commercial, and the commercial that I wrote and performed for, we won an Emmy. So we got I think 2 for that one. We got one for the performance and then one for the production. So yeah.
What was the commercial?
It was called What If. It was a commercial for the Science Museum, Oklahoma.
I think I kind of remember that.
Yeah, but I just won another one in 2017, 16, maybe 18.
My man loses tracks of his Emmys.
But we did a documentary, just like a documentary over like me and like my music and stuff.
Okay.
And that documentary won a Emmy for the production of it too. So yeah.
Now you in the circle now.
I hope so.
You in their mind now. They say, well, it's we got to see what JB is doing. It's Emmy time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's go check in OKC, see what my man's doing.
No doubt.
So I listen. I went down the rundown, man. Activist, mentor, entrepreneur, rapper. Which one means the most to you?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably just rapper, because that's where everything started.
That was the original dream.
That's where everything I've done started with rap. I feel like rap gave me my platform. Music gave me, just that push I needed to realize that that anything is possible, and so definitely rapper, because that's where it all started.
If you weren't rapping, which would be the next area you think you can make the biggest impact?
If I wasn't rapping, I would still be trapping, baby. If I wasn't rapping, probably activism and organizing, just because like right now that takes up most of my time.
Right.
And it's what's really important to me, especially when I think about the times we're living in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then, you know, the future and, you know, how I want things to be in the future for our people. So probably that.
When did that kick? Because I mean, listen, everything you're involved in, that takes time, that takes creativity, that takes a team around you. When did that even set in to make those extra moves? Open the pizza shop, start this push for your man, for our guy Julius Jones.
So, you know, with Julius, I kind of remember, you know, after seeing the footage of, you know, him being arrested and stuff, I definitely remember when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, back then, you don't really have all the information to know, you
Right.
know, what was going on. So, and plus, we were all just kids anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, whenever the documentary came out, which I got to be in, you realize, like, how messed up all this was. And so, it was just realizing, man, like, I don't know what it's gonna take, but I know that I can do something. So, you know, it was just trying to, you know, always thinking of the next thing I can do to either bring awareness to his case or, you know, show Oklahoma how important this is to us, or prove his innocence. And you don't really think of it as like, you know, I'm an activist, so this is what I'm gonna do, you know, or I'm an organizer, so this is what I'm gonna do. It's like it's there, and, you know, it needs to be done, so you do it. You know what I mean?
That's hey man, it's somebody needs to do something. Let me step in and do something.
No doubt.
And when you're talking about the documentary, you're talking about that, was it a 4-part series?
Yeah, it was The Last Defense.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. And listen, around that time, I remember, I think I'm a couple years older than you. I was 18, 19 years old. I played against Julius. We didn't hang out tight like that, but I went to Douglas, he went to John Marshall, played ball against each other. We even, you know, kind of had some interest in some mutual girls and stuff like that. So it was a little lightweight, you know, rivalry that nobody knew about, you know what I mean? And, you know, believe it or not, I wasn't always this nice, young, handsome man that I am now. I kind of got caught up in some stuff. It was around 98, 99, and Julius was still in the county jail when I had went through, and he had been in maybe about a year and a half at that time, because quiet as kept, only a few people know this.
Whatever you say.
I hung with him a couple days before that all happened. Me, him, and another couple young ladies had went out to the mall.
Wow.
And like 2-3 days later, that happened. And then a year and a half later, I'm fucking up. I see him in the county, like, wow, you still in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember it was like, you know, it was crazy. It was like some guns involved in my case, and it was a shotgun. One of them was a shotgun. And I remember my lawyer being nervous because there was a shotgun involved in my case. And it was a shotgun involved in Julius Jones' case also. And he was like, man, shotguns, it's a bad look around them right now. We're, you know, kind of nervous. So, man, our heart goes out to Julius. And I saw you, I don't know how recent that picture was, but I saw that you posted a picture with him. How is he? How's the case going? When the last time you talked to him or his family?
Man, we actually had his sister's birthday party on, what's today? I think we had it Monday or Tuesday. No, we had it Sunday. I'm sorry. Had her birthday party on Sunday.
Okay.
But he and I usually talk, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. You know, he's in a better facility now. You know, and can really kind of move around. You know, death row was different. You know what I mean?
Was that the outcome of that whole thing? Now he just got off death row and just has a little more. Yeah.
So whenever they got him off death row, they moved. They took him out of McAllister and took him to a different facility, and now he's in. Gets to work and play basketball, and you know what I'm saying,
Visitations, all that.
Yeah, he gets to visit and hug his people. You know what I'm saying. So I went to see him last month, and he's doing good. But really, all we're trying to do is just think about the next steps of his case. You know what I'm saying, because we want to get him out of there, and he wants to be home with his people, and so that's what we're really focusing on. So anytime I talk to him, usually we might talk about music or shoes or females or sports for a little bit, but we spend the majority of our time talking about strategizing and organizing the next moves and what we need to do, and then also just programming and things that he wants done, you know what I'm saying, like just in his name, as far as like the youth and things like that. So
you got the right guy to spearhead that whole thing. What kind of team and what kind of hard work does it take for you to be involved in all these things simultaneously? And whose idea was it for the pizza shop?
Oh, that was mine.
Was that you? Was that all you?
Yeah. So just like with the pizza, so I had signed a lease to open up a business there. I want to say probably 2017, 2018.
Okay.
2017-ish, I think. Maybe even before that. But it was right after, Tower Theater had opened up and I got a percentage of that. Then the same developers were doing that development. And so we wanted to get black businesses, and so I wanted to help get black businesses. And so I was like, well, I want to do my own business too, type jump. And so my first idea was, of course, to do like a record shop. You know what I mean? Like a hip hop shop with a stage, studio in the back.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? All that. And so what I did was we flew to Minneapolis to visit this record store, one of my favorite spots, Fifth Element. And so we talked to their owners, and he was just saying, man, really, we about to go strictly online with selling music. And, it's just not the same as it used to be. You know what I mean? And you're going to have a tough time, especially in the Midwest, especially in Oklahoma. And so I came back home. They closed the grocery store on 23rd, and then they tore it down. And so I was like, man, I got to do some food. I was like, people were saying, the East Side is a food desert and all that, And I used to say that too. But, I started to learn about what a desert is. A desert, isn't man-made. It's, you know what I'm saying, it's created by nature, you know what I'm saying, by God.
Right.
But what we have on the East Side is a food apartheid, meaning that it is created by man. Not only is it created by man, but it's intentional, and it's for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And the reason was to strip the resources from a certain group of people, you know what I mean?
Drive down property value.
Yeah, so the only food experience I had was in pizza. I worked at Pizza Hut when I was 16, probably till I was about 19, 20.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm gonna do pizza.
I know that.
Yeah.
Well, and the black crust, that's a hell of a touch, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
I to be honest, when I started, I wanted it to be a thing where I could say, this is for the culture. You know what I'm saying? This is for us. But I also wanted something cool that I knew nobody else was doing. And, we live in, the Instagram age and the TikTok age. Yeah. So I wanted something that people could do that with. You know what I'm saying? And so I started researching, cool ways to make pizza, how to make pizza different. I came across a bunch of stuff. But whenever I saw the black one, I was like, man, like I could just do. I know me. I could do some. I could say it's melanin. I could say all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so on my birthday, right before, whenever I decided to do pizza, and I found this black crust on my birthday, me and some friends, we tried it at home, and it worked. And I was like, yeah, that's what we doing. So
now, is that now the crust? That isn't regular, just dough crust. Is that?
It's regular. It's dough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the same as every other crust.
Really? I've tried that. I forgot which kind I had because I sent my kids to go up there and grab something. Pretty damn tasty.
Man, I appreciate that.
Pretty
bro.
tasty, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back and try it in the restaurant.
Yes.
You know, it's a little different when you take it to go or get it from somebody else. Then you try it in the restaurant. So we go see.
Let me know so I can meet you in there too.
No doubt, no doubt. I got Jabee Williams, man. We talking hip hop, activism, pizza, all that stuff, man. Whatever you say, podcast. Let's go to some music, man. We were talking before we got on, and I worked at the radio station here in the city. OKC if you're blind out there, but my man is worldwide. We'll get to me. Listen, you with Murs, I see you with Havoc, working with Run the Jewels. Come on, man. You
Chuck D.
Chuck D. Right. Come on, man. You first of all, how old are you?
I'm 39. I just turned 39 in August.
Okay, so we right there. We right there. I'm 42. So we right there in that same era. I'm with that boom bap era. All right. Where did those connections come from? And doing my little social media stalking and following up that I do, is Murs that first kind of national connect that you had, and is that what opened up the door for everybody else?
He was the first person to kind of co-sign me, but the first connection was LP from Run the Jewels.
Okay.
And what happened, how I met him, and he was the first person to do a song with me, all that.
Really?
So I had a show here in OKC. It was a group on tour. I can't remember the name of the tour, but the dude on the tour played the keys. His name was Nick Hook. And so this is back. Remember those flip cameras? It was like a little camera like that,
right?
And it was called a flip camera. So I guess like their tour was sponsored by Flip, and they would do these interviews with the Flip and ask the opening acts of people at the shows questions. And so I had opened for them, and I think the band was called Cubic Zirconia. Anyways, and so I'm doing
where is he at now?
Yeah. And so I'm doing the interview, and he's asking me questions like, who your favorite rapper, who your favorite producer, if you can work with any producer. So he said, if you work with any producer, who would it be? And I was like, shoot, that's easy, LP, you know what I'm saying? And at this time, there was no Run the Jewels, you know what I'm saying? So he was bugging out how somebody in OKC knew who LP was, right? And so he was like, man, when he got done, he was like, man, I could connect y'all. I play in his band. I help him mix his music. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, heck no. And so I remember he set up an email. He was like, hey, L, this is my homie JB. I met him in New York. I met him in OKC. And LP had emailed back. He was like, I ain't got time right now. And so that was it. You know what I'm saying? And so then probably like a year later, whenever Twitter started bubbling, I'm on Twitter, I think I did an interview somewhere. I know I did an interview in LA for like a radio show in LA, and they posted on the Twitter thing, they said, rapper JB talks about, this and LP and this person and this LP and Oklahoma City rapper or whatever. And they tagged him, and then he started following me. And so then when he started following me, I'm like, I'm going to DM him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I said, you might not remember me, but I'm a friend of Nick Hooks, wooty woo. And he messaged me back. He was like, anybody a friend of Nick's is a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, we just started building. You know what I mean? He took me on tour. And so I went on 2 tours before they became Run the Jewels, and then they did the first Run the Jewels. The first Run the Jewels tour, I went on 3, I think, with them. But the first one, I had a homie from Tucson. My DJ was from Tucson, and he brought a dude on tour, and so he was like helping us with merch and stuff like that. But that dude was Mercer's assistant, and so he was on tour with us. And so when he got back, when we were on tour, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm working with Merce, and I think he would love to meet you." I'm like, "Yeah, that's tight, whatever." You know what I'm saying? not even, not really knowing. You know what I'm saying? I'm knowing who Merce was, but you hear that kind of talk all the time.
All
you know
the time, oh, right.
And so I got back to Oklahoma, and I was working at my job. He called me. He goes, "Yo, I got Merce on three-way. He want to talk to you." And so I'm like, "What the hell?" And so Merce was on the phone. He was like, "Yeah, I want to help you put out your music, put out your album." He said, this was like October. He said, I got a show at House of Blues in December. I wanna fly you out. We're gonna start a tour. Woo-de-woo. I left work that day and never went back. I flew to LA. I did like 2 shows at both House of Blues in California. Went on tour. He put my album out. You know what I'm saying? He just pushed me, introduced me to people, all that. You know what I'm saying? And
which album was this?
that was Everything Was Beautiful, Nothing Hurt.
Really?
Yeah, that was 2013.
Wow. How do you get to go on tour? I mean, obviously, is it old school? You hook up with Merce and y'all jump in a cypher or something, and he said, "I'm gonna take him on tour." How does that hook up?
He's just, with the first one and everyone after that, he just, the first one he was just like, I want to showcase you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it was me and I think 3 other people, a group, and then 2 other people he was doing the same thing with.
Did you already have like some demos, some mixtape?
Yeah,
stuff?
I had a lot of music already. And so every night we would switch off. You know what I'm saying? So it was Merce, and then I think it was like 4 of us opening. So every night, one of us would go first, and then then we would take turns opening up for Merce. You know what I'm saying? So we would just alternate every single night. And then as he and I got cool, there have been some tours where I see him announce, and I'll text him and be like, "Yo, I'm going on that tour." And he'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna have my tour manager, hit you up," and you know what I'm saying? They plug me in. You know what I mean? So, it's that dude, like, still to this day, he like, one of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk on the phone for hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, he been to my mama's house. I've been to his mama's house. You know what I'm saying? Just a good dude. Touring with LP and Run the Jewels, it was kind of similar at first. I think he was just like, well, I can let you do some dates close to you, like Dallas, Houston,
right.
And then I went on those, and then he was like, yeah, you can jump on tour. We can add you to it. Contact the booking agent and have them add you. You know what I mean? And that's how I ended up working. But yeah, like every time it's been different. Like even when I went to I toured in Europe. I went on tour in Europe with this group from Europe called Lou Troop, and I don't remember. I think I was reading a book or something, and it was just talking about about just doing it, not waiting and doing it. And so one of my favorite rappers is a rapper from Sweden. His name is Promo. And so I hit him up, and I was like, man, I'm a fan. I'm from Oklahoma. Here's my music. Here's what I've done. I know this person that you know what I'm saying? You could ask them about me.
Right.
And I was like, if you got a tour coming up, like, I would love to be a part of it. I'll make sure I get there, wherever it is, in Europe. And it was probably like a month later, the booking agent hit me up and was like, hey, I got your contact from Promo. He told me, to add you to this tour they're working on.
Nice, man.
Yeah, and they took care of us, you know what I'm saying? So,
how is the money for stuff like that? I mean, is it now, I guess at that time you're up and comer. So is it even proper to even try to negotiate money? It's the music game, so it's all about getting out there, getting seen, and that should be enough in some eyes.
Some of it is like for instance, whenever I hit up LP and for Run the Jewels tours, he was like, you could do some Dallas dates. I knew I wasn't getting no money. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I knew I was just going, trying to get some exposure, meet some people. And then whenever I was able to be like official on the tour, usually it's the pays are broken down in guarantees or broken down somewhere like that. And then with MERS, some of the tours, you know, I had a set rate I would get every night.
Okay. Well, per diem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had that plus a per diem.
Okay.
And then, but the very first one we all got a per diem each day. But then whenever I was like, you know, that was 2013. But then like 2016, 17, like I'm getting paid
so
plus
I'm in
the
here
per
now.
diem. You know what I mean?
Break bread.
You know, I've done some tours where, like I went on tour with Mr. Liff and Zion I, who passed away. Zumbi from Zion I passed away, I think, last year sometime. But legendary West Coast artist from the Bay. But I went on tour with them, and they had a guarantee plus a door deal, and then I would get a percentage of the door. So
okay. Let's go back real quick. You said you got a percentage of Tower Theater?
Yeah, I used to.
So were you a part of that? They said used to.
Yeah.
Were you a part of that whole upbringing when they rebuilt
first?
that?
So, I actually.
No, your commercial was running 10 times an hour.
I sold a big portion of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, get it, man.
Yeah.
Get it how you do. You know, ain't that the lick right now? You build it up, and then once it gets popping.
But I'm still like I'm still a part of them, but I don't have the percentage I had. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense.
I got you. I got you. Some negotiations need to go down. Apparently, my man JB need to talk to some folks.
No, it worked out good for me.
Worked out good. Yeah. Okay. Well, the talking went well.
Yeah, it did.
Real quick, you know, we're talking about the music. You hook up with MERS, and you first hooked up with LP. So, were you supposed to be the rapper and run the jewels, man? Did Killer Mike take that spot for you?
Nah, actually, man, the song me and LP did, the first beat he sent for me was for Killer Mike.
Yeah.
But nah, they had all that planned and all that, man. Like
Killer Mike a beast, man.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. But around that same time is when I met Chuck D too. Like all that was happening at the same time.
Right.
And what's crazy is like that was around the same time. Like I was like, man, ain't nobody listens to my shit. Can you cuss?
Oh man, so come on, man. Whatever you say.
Yeah, nobody listens to my shit. Like, what am I doing? You know, this is so hard. All that same time, I was feeling like really discouraged about music. And this is 2013, 14.
Oh, okay, no doubt.
And so all that. So when I'm going through that depression and like just feeling frustrated about music, and you know, I just feel like, especially here, feeling like, you know, niggas don't fuck with me and all that.
Yeah.
It's whenever Chuck D hit me up, MERS reached out, LP took me on tour. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff started happening right as I was feeling like that. So
rejuvenated nigga.
Yeah, no doubt.
Chuck D, man. I mean, listen, I don't know you very well, man, but just from TV and just you running around in the city, you know, I could tell you're a man of some kind of principle and character, integrity. If you know Chuck D, that's all he's about. If you know Killer Mike, LP, if you know their music, that's what they promote. MERS, he's just an overall hip hop ambassador.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
And I'm glad you know that about him, man. Not many people out here really do, but
I respect MERS and just, you know, and then you, and then we fit you right up in there. Like-minded folks and folks that kind of seem to walk by the beat of the same drum. How much is that and just your overall character? How much can you kind of tell other rappers, like, it does matter how you act out here?
Yeah, it really does, you know. But
it's how you carry yourself.
It's how you carry yourself. And I know, like, sometimes we like to equate it with, like, age or the style of music you make, you know what I'm saying? But it's really not. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I met Chief Keef in New York, and this is where when he first started popping. This is, I don't know what year that was, but when he was just a kid,
right.
and he had all those YouTube videos where he was fighting, and him and the other dude had got into a fight, or beat somebody up in front of a store or something like that, and everybody's talking about Chief Keef is like really that dude. So my homegirl, they had an event in New York, and I want to say, I think the venue was called Best Buy Center. I think that's what it was called. I can't remember, but it was a big venue.
Mm-hmm.
And so she invited me to come out while I was out there, and Chief Keef was headlining. It was like I think one of his first shows in New York, maybe.
Right.
Something like that. And I'm thinking I'm gonna meet this killer and like all that, you know what I'm saying? But he was the nicest person in the room. You know what I'm saying? Really friendly. And then the same thing with Mozzie, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the nice people I ever met, and like actually kicked it with him, chilled with him, all that.
Right.
Very, very nice and friendly. And so I say that to say, like, it's not even about the style of music you make. It's not even about you know, your age. It's just about like just being a real person and understanding like, you know, it's how you treat people, how you talk to people, you know what I mean? Those are the things that people remember and what stands out. And then also, you know, it's a big part of, you know, how you carry yourself, and knowing that every single movie you make, there's somebody watching, you know what I'm saying, on every level.
No doubt.
So yeah, I don't know if that's even advice, but I think if I had to give some advice on that, it would just be mindful of the eyes that are watching every single move that you made.
And then just know it's a time and place for everything, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, when you're with your partners and doing all that, and when you're in rapper mode, that's one thing.
Exactly, and that's, you know what I'm saying, like, exactly. Like I might be at a homie's house party getting toe up and all of that, you know what I'm saying? But when I'm working, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When
you gotta know the difference.
When I'm clocked in, I'm clocked in.
No doubt about it. Jabee Williams, give him some game. We talked about the Tower Theater, the mentorship with kids. You got kids up there working at the pizza shop. No, that's a hell of a look. How many parents pat you on the back for that one?
I mean, yeah.
It's more something to do.
Yeah, it is. You know, and so we have students that work there, and then we have some students who are too young to work, but want to learn about, you know, being an entrepreneur. Want to learn about what it means to own your own business. So I'll come and talk with them. I'll let my GM, you know, kind of give them, you know, the runaround on what she does and her responsibilities and what that looks like. And it's been really positive, man. That was one of the biggest things that I wanted to do with you know, the restaurant was give back to the community. You know what I'm saying? And really you know, give opportunities to young black people, and then just, you know, be a place to where we come in, we see people that look like us.
No doubt about it. JB, the music, man. I mean, like you said, that's what's kind of all this spawns from. That's what was your first love.
Mm-hmm.
When did you that love for hip hop come about? I think I remember. I told you I do my Facebook stalking. I think I remember you telling a story. You used to ride around with your pops. You used to listen to Too Short.
Yeah, dang, yeah.
Told you, man. I'm a little spy over here.
Yeah, Too Short and Ghetto Boys. The very first rap song I memorized was Ghetto Boys. My mom playing tricks on.
Hey, man, I think everybody had to know that one.
Yeah.
How was home life? 2-parent home, 1-parent home?
Nah, 1 parent. My pops was gone by the time I was like 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew who he was, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it was my mom, you know what I'm saying, most of the time. And, you know, we went through a period where we didn't have a home, we were homeless.
Right.
We went through a period where we, you know what I'm saying, like in the hood, 4 of us to one bedroom, you know what I'm saying, like that.
What neighborhood we talking about?
Man, all over. So actually the hood, like off 28th and MLK.
Okay.
We lived over there.
Okay.
We lived off 21st and Kelly. We lived off Lottie, off Stonewall. We lived in Park Estates for a little bit. Lived on the South Side for a little bit.
Okay.
I went to Webster, part of my 6th grade year. We lived on the Northwest Side of 30th and like Classen.
So you old city through and through, man.
Man, bro, all day. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been to, I think like Oklahoma City public schools. I've been to, I think like 9 or 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So having that type of upbringing and going through those type of things, having to move around a lot, this side of town, that side of town, what kind of, do you have any kind of pullback or do you have any pullback now as far as, I guess now is different because I'm assuming you're making your money off rap and that's a decent part of your income. But when you were starting out and like you said, you're going through those frustrated times, do you have some kind of doubt or maybe guilt of trying to do your rap music, your creativity, when maybe I should be giving more of my time to, maybe I need to pick up a second job, another job or something? At what point did that kind of back and forth tug of war get at you?
I still have that tug of war. I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
Whatever you say.
Like, when I was a kid, like it wasn't up to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But as an adult, it wasn't even long ago where I was broke and my lights was off and I'm trying to rap and go on tour and I wouldn't ask my homie if I could sell drugs for him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like just to make $500 for the week or
right.
something like that. You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't let me. So there has been those times, but I think for me, there isn't anything else I'm really good at. You know what I'm saying? And then even while doing that, I still would like do things like, work at, community center or substitute teach. You know what I'm saying? Things like that to help supplement. You know what I'm saying? Because not only am I trying to keep my head above water, but I got kids. You know what I'm saying? And as a kid, I've been there before with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So there wasn't really much lower I could go. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been poor before. I stood in line. For the free food baskets. I've been to I've had people at my mama's job give us clothes because we didn't have clothes.
Right.
I watched my mom work 3 jobs. I watched her pawn her jewelry to pay bills, everything. So
walk that road.
Yeah.
Huh?
So there isn't really much, nothing that I haven't seen that I feel like I know how to maneuver through. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been there. But at the same time, with music, because it is like that. It is like a roller coaster. Even to this day, it's like some months I be. Man, you know what I'm saying? Like,
my man,
I go teach some months, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Some months I'll buy like 5 pairs of shoes. Some months, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then some months it's like, okay, man, like I'm just gonna pay. Should I get all my bills paid?
Right.
And whatever I got left over, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I know that this type of lifestyle, trying to be an artist, trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to be an organizer, trying to be an activist, those aren't, people don't understand, like, I'm a starving artist, meaning like I'm not, I do good. Thank God, like, I really get paid to rap, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Enough to get by and pay bills and take care of my kids. Thank God, I'm able to have opportunities where I can, invest money into opening up a restaurant, and things like that. So at the same time, like, I do know that that this could all be gone tomorrow, and just being, the essence of it is because I'm an artist, right? And I know that, I'm in essence also a big fish in a small pond in Oklahoma, Oklahoma City. So this isn't a life that I would wish on my kids at all. You know what I'm saying? To want to be an artist and, want to make a living off of your passion and stuff like that. That's not something that, want them to aspire to be, because it hasn't been easy. You know what I'm saying? It looks cool now, and I have so many cool things, working right now and going right now. But I'm 39. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, it took me that long to even get to this point. You know what I mean?
So that's interesting. You would try to steer your kids away from getting to the arts or this particular music business, or just chasing a particular passion?
Just, anything that's just art. You know what I'm saying? Just because.
In Oklahoma?
Period.
Or?
Period.
Really?
Really,
real quick, not to cut you off, but you say you're not good at anything else. Most rappers are good at, first of all, they're artists. Mm-hmm. So they create, their mind thinks a little different, they see things a little different. Usually rappers can who was that? The damn Swiss Army knife. He do everything. Chris Brown. Mm-hmm. He can draw. Yeah. Kanye West can draw. I think Mos Def.
Yeah, I draw. I paint. That's
what I'm saying. Murals. Like there's other. Yeah. I know you got a hand in those murals that are popping up around the city, right?
Yeah.
Are you actually putting paint to wall on those things?
Yeah, I've done 2-3 murals so far.
Come on, man. I need me one, man. You do pieces? You do art pieces?
I do pieces.
Really?
Because music had took over. I had kind of let that part of my creativity left it behind. But what happened was not this mayor, but the last mayor appointed me to the Arts Commission.
Last mayor Holt?
No, before Holt. Nick Cornett.
Okay, there you go.
He appointed me to the Arts Commission, but Holt reinstated me, and so I became an arts commissioner, and I got on Arts Council board. All these different art.
My man's on boards all over the place.
Then it was visual art just started to become a part of my life again. You know what I'm saying? So. That's why I got back into it. So just doing murals, putting on art shows.
And if your kids say, "Dad, man, my daddy drew some cool stuff. I wanna be like Pops and get me some murals going."
Yeah, I mean, the hard part is I just know, for artists, any type of artist, like you said, our minds are different. People usually see the world in black and white. We see the world in colors and rainbows, right? And so I just know there is in a world where you're a minority, in that sense, there's some torment involved. You know what I mean? There's some hard days ahead. There's some rough times ahead for you. And I just don't want that for my kids. You know what I'm saying?
What movie was that where the mama didn't want the daughter to sing because she knew how it would bring, and you'd be out there with the hustlers late night, and I get it, man. I got 2 kids, man, and
was it Sparkle? You talking about Sparkle?
I think so. Maybe the old school.
The old one, yeah.
But that's kind of always the storyline. Anytime you got a music movie, somebody's mama don't want them to stay away from them clubs at night.
Yeah.
So I get it though. But hey, man, if your children are out here doing half the things and making half the moves you're making, man. That's something to be proud of.
And maybe I could set it up for them so they don't have to go through what I went through.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Why not? Why not? So. Ask Puffy's kids how they doing right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Real quick, man, the music, what's your process? You said your first rap song you memorized was Ghetto Boys, Mind Playing Tricks on Me. You rode around with Pops, listened to Too Short. What's your process? Because I hear a lot of rappers. It seemed like, I don't know, I feel like Jay-Z and then Lil Wayne made, freestyling, not writing their raps, made that popular. I feel like every rapper can't wait to brag about how they had that same process.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel? Are you still old school? Pen to paper?
Yeah, I definitely write. Only because, I'm, not only because I can definitely freestyle. it's a part of what I do. But
I think people, I don't know.
I've seen, but what Jay-Z and Wayne do, I've seen on one other person do it and here in the city, and like I don't know how they do it, but like I've been like I've known him most of my life, and he's been doing it since we was kids, and he can memorize it. You know what I'm saying? Say it one time, and he know it. You know what I mean? Like like
who is that?
Chris McCain.
Chris McCain.
Yeah, he can like.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny you brought that up because I was listening because I have plans to get him in here also, and I was listening to some of his stuff, and I remember he had some rhymes where he said that too. You know, I don't write, and
it's like
really, he's a computer like that.
Yeah, he definitely has a gift when it comes to that. You know what I mean? I've seen it. I mean, since we was in high school, he was doing that. You know what I mean? But me myself. Sometimes, it'll take me, even you look at how I put out music, albums, it takes me like 2-3 years sometimes, maybe sometimes longer than that, 4 years. But just on top of that, whenever I write, I think that's part of the art for me. You know what I'm saying? It's writing it down and reading it, and I wish I did. I wish I could memorize everything I've ever written, but for me, like sometimes one song will take a couple days.
You're a detailed guy.
Yeah, I try to be. I try to be because I want to stop doing this because I would always do it because I feel like like I gotta, I want niggas to feel like this when they hear this.
Right.
Now I realize niggas ain't listening to my shit, so I gotta stop making. I had to put myself in the mind where I'm trying to impress a certain group of people who don't give a damn anyway, and just do me. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever you say.
And so, but before that was a big part of it. Was like, I'm hella critical and very detailed. Where I'll record songs 3 and 4 times. And then be like, okay, this the one. And then I was more concerned with what a certain group of people thought of it more than if I liked it or not. You know what I'm saying? But now, man, I just do me because I think there's a group of people that actually listen to me because they like it and not the other bullshit.
I think what would you think of the Oklahoma City even hip hop scene in general? I mean, it seems like since the kind of revamping of the Paseo district, it kind of gave the flannel shirts and everybody somewhere to go. You know what I'm saying? And the poets and you know what I'm saying? It gave the folks out there somewhere to go, and kind of, the arrival of the Thunder, right? More eyes, more money fluctuated into the city. It seems like the art and music scene has jumped up, I don't know, past what, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like you fit right in the middle of all that.
Yeah. And I remember, there was a time where like, clubs didn't even play rap music in Oklahoma City. You know what I'm saying?
Only on the east side.
Yeah, only on the east side, But now, and, I remember a time it was like, 5 rappers in the city that were doing stuff. Most of the homies rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, at lunchtime or, you know what I'm saying?
I always tell people, everybody got a verse, man.
Yeah, everybody got
a verse.
Yeah. Everybody got a verse, But people actually like, trying to do shows and perform and selling music and stuff. It was like just a handful. But like now, man, like I see some of these people, I'm just like, man, where y'all? Not only I'm like, where they come from, but they got a whole crowd of people that came to see them. Yeah. I'm like, damn, where y'all come from? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but it's, to me, that's like, that right there is what can make Oklahoma City like a real urban market for music. You know what I'm saying? If that continues to grow and develop, you know what I mean? Where you could just sell, sell to, your city and you know what I'm saying, do well from that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, if you can lock down your area and just live off that. I mean, like I always tell people. I remember when the Houston, Texas, and the Screw went national. Of course, we already knew Screw before it went national and mainstream. But when Screw went mainstream, I said, they really don't have. They've been maintaining for years because they don't have to sell outside of Texas.
Yeah.
Look how big Texas is.
Yeah.
Same thing with LA, New York artists. Look how they can just really sell in their city and live off that. And then as soon as they break out wide, now we're talking about platinums and millions and things like that. You brought up Chris McCain, man, and I had talked to him, and I'll be transparent as possible. It's whatever you say. We're not pulling no punches here, but we also not starting no mess. I heard through a third party that it was a little issue with you and him at one point.
Yeah.
But I had talked to him, and like I said, I got him scheduled to come in too, and I asked him the same thing because I didn't know anything about this. I said, "You and JB got some issues." I mean, listen, outside of Nitro and Bucket Loke, like Chris McCain was right about like the next guy I remember, local rapper in Oklahoma. And then you have shot up through the stratosphere. I was like, no, we can't have that. We can't have these two. Explain to me, what was the rundown?
Chris took me to my studio. It might have been my second time at the studio. I think my cousin Jason took me the first time. But, like Chris one of the first people took me to the studio.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like.
So y'all was tight.
Yeah, we was best friends. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Oh man, that's a Nino G Money story right here.
Yeah. And I mean, some of them around the Jules dates, I took him on with me.
Really?
That like legit, like that's like even to this day, that's still my brother. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I always tell people, and I'm sure he did too, was like, if whatever issue we got, you can't be out here trying to you can't be going to Chris saying, well, I'm glad, fuck JB, this and that. And he not, you know what I'm saying? You can't be going to JB and be like, yeah, man, fuck Chris, because A, B, and C, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
Because what's going to happen is we're going to end up being cool and we're going to know, okay, this the person. Yeah, this the person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think what he and I, it's just a misunderstanding. And, I think for me, it was a learning process for me. I learned a lot,
Was it something musical or in little business?
Yeah, it wasn't even
personal?
business. I wouldn't even say it was personal. It was just, I would say misunderstanding because he thought one thing and I thought a whole nother thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And
that's usually all it is.
That's all it is. And, once we talked, and then talked again, and then talked again, and talked again, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure other people were involved.
Yeah, it shook out, you know what I'm saying? But even at that point to where I was legit mad at him, you know what I'm saying? I was hurt. I still I was only hurt because it's somebody I love. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I didn't give a damn about the nigga, then it wouldn't even bother me. You know what I'm saying? But whenever it's somebody that you grew up with, you know what I'm saying, that's important to you, that you feel like is a part of your family, then that's you got to take it a little bit more serious.
Sting a little bit more.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, that's it. I don't even know. It's been a minute, but. I think the best way for me to describe it now is that, it was really a learning process for me on how I can really pay more attention, you know what I'm saying, to what's going on around me, because there are things that I can say and I can do that I'm just saying and doing shit and just going, I'm just moving like I move.
Right.
And that can come off a certain way to somebody. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And so I just learned a lot. But like I said, he that's always gonna be my brother, my family. I'll take a bullet for him. You know what I'm saying? I was just at church with his mom and his dad, you know what I'm saying, on Sunday.
Doubt.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Matter of fact, being around him, like I used to love going to his house as kids because he had both his mom and his dad there. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Like that was dope to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's important, man.
Yeah, and man, me and him, like regardless of just rap and life, we done been through some shit together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We done fought niggas together. I done slept on his couch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, like
it's real history
family,
here, man.
You know what I'm saying? Family.
It's
You
real
know what I'm
history,
saying?
no doubt. And I'm glad. I'm so glad that's how you answered this question.
Yeah,
that's good, man, because that was his same sentiment.
Yeah,
that's the same thing he was on. He said, man, it was something. It wasn't really nothing at the end of the day, and that's my bro. No matter what.
I thinking back on it, I wish there were things I had done to make it a little bit more dramatic and eventful. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to start
I wish
a
I had
beef.
I wish I would have had more fun with it like he did. But like I said, I was too busy being hurt. You know what I'm saying?
And that is the kind of difference with y'all.
Yeah.
He's a little more out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little more, I don't know what, boastful, I guess. He had, I remember looking at some of his stuff, and he had a bunch of videos on YouTube and, stuff from back in the day and stuff like that. And you a little more reserved, laid back in the cut. And it seems like that's kind of how, it seems, it's poetic justice that's how it worked out.
Yeah.
That you guys are cool at the end of the day, but he had some fun with it, played with it a little bit, ran his mouth a tad bit.
Yeah.
And you just sat back and chilled.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
No, I'm not gonna front. I said I had some subliminals for him. He knew it. You know what I'm saying? He definitely.
In the music, y'all was throwing it back in the music.
Yeah, just some. I had some subliminals for him. He knew it. But
that's funny. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to some stuff.
But I really wish I had a little more fun with it. I will say this, to be honest, like I'm still healing, you know what I'm saying, from it. You know what I mean? Like, I really look at everything different now, just, how I am with people and people getting close to me and stuff, but other than that, like I said, man, even at that time, I wasn't gonna say nothing bad about him to nobody that I wouldn't say to him, you know what I'm saying? And you wasn't about to come to me and be like, Chris a bitch, nothing like that, you know what I'm saying, ever, you know what I'm saying? And even to like right now, I go to his shit, he come to mine, you know what I'm saying? And we still talk, we text, you know what I'm saying? Like it's funny because we really I just hate all the time that it wasn't a lot of time, but there was some time that that we can't get back. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that's very important to me because I know this time is precious on this earth.
So how long was that little issue? Couple years? Maybe 2. Yeah.
I mean, we was off and on. You know what I'm saying? We'd be cool, and you know what I'm saying. We was off and on. But maybe 2, you know what I'm saying? But really, 2 days is too long to go to bed like that.
No doubt. No doubt about it, man. Shout out Chris McCain, man. He'll be in here soon.
But I go back to say, that he was my favorite rapper when we was kids growing up. You couldn't tell me shit. He was the best rapper in the city. You know what I'm saying?
I love how he would take those loops. It was a time where, for lack of a better term, beat raping was tight, and it seemed like he would choose the perfect beats, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And his rapping was dope too, but I felt like his production or the production that he chose was something that Oklahoma City needed.
Yeah.
And I think, at times, Oklahoma City, and I always like to ask people even from Oklahoma City, do you consider South or Midwest?
I consider it Midwest.
Midwest?
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking, because in my mind, like I said, go back to Nitro and Bucket Logo. Those like the first local rappers that I can remember, and especially that made that hit us, put a song out that really charted and made some waves. And now that I think back on it, that Nitro and Bucket Logo song, what was it, Hennessy?
Hennessy, yeah.
It sounded like some Midwest Nelly shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know at the time exactly.
Yeah,
of course, Nelly wasn't out then. But now that I sit back and think about it, I was like, that sounds like some kind of Midwest up tempo, hard kind of hitting Midwest shit, Nelly shit. And it's obvious we're right there in the middle of the map, so Midwest is a decent answer. But then Oklahoma, we're right there in the middle, so we're influenced by everybody. Then the No Limit wave comes through.
That was a whole nother monster.
And wipes everybody. And now we so south. We dragging our words, and you know what I'm saying. And we go from khakis and milkshakes to Jabots and Reeboks. And how do you feel about that with Oklahoma and how it's so influential to or it gets its influences musically from everybody else?
I think
it just comes with the par being in the middle.
I think some of it is that. But I think a lot of it is just like we don't have a, like, for instance, let's say it's Bucket, or if it's Chris or whoever. Let's say that person blows up and becomes, Nelly, right? Like Nelly, you know what I'm saying, for OKC, right? And so for instance, I'm sure in St. Louis, after Nelly blew up, everybody was rapping like and sounding like Nelly. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if it's Nitro, if it's Chris, if it's Bucket, they blow up like that, everybody gonna sound like Chris, or everybody gonna sound, you know what I'm saying? But the difference is that we don't have that yet. You know what I'm saying?
But we're established sound.
We're all still kind of searching for, what works. You know what I'm saying? But still at the same time, we're self-taught because we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? We have to teach ourselves. We don't have a Jay-Z. We didn't have a Hit Factory. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have who's
studios popping up everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't have, so everything we did, you know what I'm saying, even though we have influences from other regions, we still had to teach ourselves how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what makes Oklahoma City especially unique, is that, like, we don't have any real. We only have ourselves, and we're self-taught all this stuff. Whether it's a studio, whether it's rapping, whether it's shows, whether it's touring, whatever. We don't. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to teach ourselves how to do it. So you think about New York.
You say.
A local rapper in New York, you know what I'm saying, could be Jay-Z. It could be that's, you know what I'm saying? It could be a Nas. Yeah. It could be a Diddy.
They're local.
They're you know what I'm saying? If they're in New York, they local. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A local rapper in LA could be Kendrick, could be Game, it could be whoever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We can go on and on, state to state, region to region, right? But Oklahoma still don't have it. You think about Chicago, you know what I'm saying, Ohio, all these places, Florida, they all got, but we don't. And so because of that, we have to teach ourselves everything, and which really, in my opinion, makes us better. You know what I'm saying? And then, we take influence from, everywhere, because we're trying to find what works, you know what I'm saying, and what works for us.
What are those conversations like outside of Oklahoma when you're out there talking to other producers, other artists, and maybe bigger cities, bigger markets? I mean, are they shocked that we even know how to rap down here?
They're shocked that we even got black people. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I was wondering, because I get that too. I don't travel as much as you, I'm sure, but I still get the whole, y'all still ride horses down there, all that stuff.
That's still a question.
And truth of the matter is, yes.
Yeah, sometimes we do.
Depends on what we're doing. Yeah.
So that's still, You know, people think the only black people are the ones that play for the Thunder here. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's only like 3 or 4 of them left anyway.
That's it.
That whole team about to be white before it's over with.
Yes, it is.
But,
and we're gonna start getting used as like the NBA revolving door.
Yeah. Oh,
you know, it's crazy how, I don't want to get off topic here, but you know, I always tell folks when the Thunder got here, they were so good so early.
Yeah.
And that's not how it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's not how expansion teams are supposed to build like that. And now we're in those dog days of who's that guy?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, like I said, the Thunder did bring some eyes. KD, Russ, Harden, you know, that whole run that they had brought some eyes, brought some money into the city. And I guess I already know the answer to your story or to this question, but how much of that was seen in the artist community, in the music community? Was it obvious? Like, wow, we got the Thunder bringing some heads in the city. Yeah,
you know, there's that. But then, you know, I know for me it was a lot of opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I've seen you perform at the Chesapeake a few times.
A few times. I've done a couple commercials for the Thunder. I did commercials for KD. You know what I'm saying? One of my biggest commercials was a KD commercial. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember that. Yeah.
So, you know, it's definitely, you know, for me, it's been good. You know what I mean? I'm working on. Matter of fact, I'm writing and recording for this season a commercial.
Really?
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm excited about that, and I'll probably perform that at one of the games too. But yeah, I think, you know, like I think was it last season that Drake came to the game?
Yeah, something like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, just like that, you can.
It wouldn't let Lil Wayne in.
They wouldn't let Wayne in. Didn't Jay-Z come one time too?
To a game? Maybe a playoff, yeah. Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
Maybe a finals when we played
so
the Heat.
I feel like he did at one point, but yeah, I think, you know, that in itself is just, you know, it's adding to, you know, the uniqueness of Oklahoma City. You know what I mean? And it's helping people to see, like, you know, that there is stuff here. And all we got to do is while that's happening, play our part, you know what I'm saying, do our part, and make sure that we got, you know, stuff cracking. You know what I'm saying? So it's something to do when they get here. Or we could, you know what I'm saying, when them eyes is looking, we got the right things going. You know what I mean? Like, so.
I will tell you this, man. I don't know whose idea it was, but, you know, you brought up when people are looking, make sure we're doing the right thing and we're looking right. I don't know whose idea it was for the that stand up light sign, stop killing us.
Oh, that was me.
That's dope.
Thank you, man.
That's hard right there, man.
Thank you, man.
That is hard. We need some of them on every side of the town, man.
Yeah.
East, west, north, south, man.
Yeah, you know, that was right after George Floyd, and
that shit's hard.
And it was just like
any backlash, what does this do? What's this supposed to mean?
I mean, I've never not got backlash. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always somebody going, you know, he trying to, you know,
stir up stuff.
He just trying to be seen, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like everything. It comes in all. You know what I'm saying? White folks, you know what I'm saying, want to take me out. You know what I'm saying? And everything. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that's just part of it. That's gonna be there, and you know, I can't let that, you know, keep me from doing what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, there was a lot of backlash for that, especially from the police. You know what I'm saying? Because they gotta drive by and see and know what's about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey man, take that. I know what we dealing with out here, man. It's on TV every day. And with that whole kick to stop killing us, goes right in line with your whole movement. Was that this past year? You brought Juneteenth to the East Side for the second consecutive year?
Yeah, the second one, yeah.
Brought Maya down.
Yeah.
That's big time, man. I mean, and
we're going to do it again.
We already had a Juneteenth festival. Now my man JB has his going. Now we got two in the city. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I did. I thought it was a good idea.
That's a great plug,
Everybody
man.
don't feel like that.
Let me get a couple spots to celebrate Juneteenth. What's the problem?
Yeah.
You know, and they're right up the street from each other, not far.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can make both events.
And the times didn't really.
Yeah,
conflict.
the time didn't cross over too much. It was hot as hell.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. What are we gonna do about that? What's in the plans for the next one, man? Well, first of all, listen. What was Maya looking like? I mean, I know she was looking like in the picture, but come on, man.
You know, she was magical, bro. Like
she's not a young spring chicken, but damn it.
Yeah, bro.
My man lost train of thought right there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like back to like so. Even when I first saw her, when she first walked in, you know, like she was glowing. I mean, like she's a star. She was literally like glowing, and then how she was just so cool, so nice, and you know, didn't get tired of people and all of that. Like I literally I woke up that Saturday morning, and I had a text from I had a bunch of calls from a Florida number, and because we start setting up Juneteenth at like 6. This number started calling me like at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, what? And so I text back. I didn't call her. I said, man, who is this? And she was like, this is Mike. Call me back. And I was like, oh my God. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm all nervous trying to call. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's dope, bro. She was real dope.
Say, how's my hair? I gotta call Maya.
For real, yo.
But whatever you say, podcast got Jabee Williams in the spot, man. Thanks for coming through to my humble abode. Whatever you say, studios. I bet you didn't know you was going to a house though, did you?
No, I didn't. But you know, this the vibes, yo. So
hey, man, we got to start somewhere. Talk to me about just other Oklahoma artists that you vibe with, man. We were talking about Chris McCain earlier, and right when I heard that news, I'm going through some songs, and I saw that you, McCain, and Grand National had a song together.
Yeah, I think that was on Grand National's project.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that's live. And then I'm going through some of your stuff, and I'm telling you, I had a new favorite song. I didn't hear this earlier. That Word of Mouth joint.
Oh yeah.
On the Juneteenth album.
Yeah.
Come on now, that's mean, man. That's mean. But talk to me about your style with your music. A lot of heart, a lot of Oklahoma history in your music.
Yeah, that's important.
You know, a lot of pro-black sentiments and phrases and themes. Was it always like that? And when we started in the 10s and in the 09s,
yeah, it's always been like that. It's always been, about uplifting. It's always been about, our people. It's always been about, sharing the history. I started doing that at an early age. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like, because in school, I was listening to like Dead Prez and Mos Def and people like that too.
We would have called him a backpack rapper back then.
Yeah. So that's really what they was about, and that's the kind of music that I was like, man, I want to make some shit like this. You know what I'm saying? But that and Pac. You know what I'm saying? Like Pac was like, my favorite rapper of all time.
It's funny you say that, and it just popped in my head. Pac was probably the biggest backpack rapper of all. I never really put those two together. Yeah. But like if you know the history of Pac, you know his content. He was the most backpack, social, political, whatever, pro-black you could think of, man.
Yeah,
so
man.
That's crazy. But yeah, Dead Prez, Tupac, Mos Def, that's a hell of a group right there. And when I first got up on you, I was at the station, and what year was that when you had the Now, and was this and I've noticed rappers do this. Is this a promotional? Obviously, it's a promotional, tool and a marketing tool. But I remember you had the dinosaur suit, or kind of like the Yoshi. Yeah. Reminded me of Yoshi from Mario.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I shot some of that in Chris's house.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. And that was dope. What was the theme behind that? If I'm not mistaken, it was kind of like the kid that was kind of looked over and teased a little bit.
Yeah. So the song's called Stephanie, and the idea was about it's a true story. I like this girl named Stephanie in 7th grade, and she called me ugly, and that song was produced by LP from Run the Jewels. But yeah, she called me ugly, and I was grown and still bitter and thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted a way to kind of like show how I felt at the time, and that's how I felt. Was like I had this like monsterish, dinosaurish costume on everywhere I went, because that's how I felt like I was treated as a kid in school and stuff, and just felt like I was different. You know what I'm saying?
I remember the video, seeing a kid. He was walking around with his head down.
Yeah, and the girls was laughing at him and pointing and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
All that really happened. You know what I'm saying?
And that's honest, man. And you got to give you a pat on the back for that, even though it's kids and it's trivial little boy girl stuff. But hey man, that still sticks with you 15, 20 years later.
That's the thing, is I work with kids now, and I see, and I'm just like, I wish somebody had told me it's not that serious, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't that bad, man.
I look at these kids now, and it's like, why didn't somebody just sit me down and go, bro,
chill out, man.
You overthinking it. You know what I'm saying? None of this is that in 10 years you're not gonna care or give them none of these people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was so I was just so caught up, and it would really affect me. You know what I'm saying? And I even, like I said, I think about it now, and I was tormenting myself for so long, especially in middle school. I tormented myself for so long when I didn't even have to. I see these kids now in middle school, I'm thinking, man, fam, all y'all, even the ones who feel like they the cool ones, right. I'm like, man, you don't even know what cool is, but I didn't know, man.
And your cool gonna take a big step back at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about it,
exactly.
Man.
So,
but now, how much of that do you equate to just single parent home and
I think a lot of it was that
not having a father.
A lot of it was that there was, it's hard to see, I work with kids now, to see a kid who's 11, 12 years old and depressed and you know what I'm saying? But I know it's possible because I was that kid. You know what I'm saying? Even at an early age, contemplating suicide and stuff. At 11 years old, that's wild. You know what I'm saying? But it happens. So I think I look at just that part, then my home life, and it kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It really does make sense because we were, it wasn't easy on us. You know what I'm saying? Life wasn't easy on us. You know what I'm saying? And I just know that, all of that really at the end of the day helped make me who I am and push me to want to do more and do better. But I know for some people, it's hard to climb out of that. You know what I'm saying? And overcome it, so... but I just thank God that I was able to, to a certain extent.
I guess an easy answer would just be the fame, the money, and all that. But from what you've seen and experienced, what's the biggest downfall for rappers? Is it just thinking I'm bigger than what I am, not knowing my business, not having any other interests, and just putting everything in on it? What's the biggest issue for rappers right now? You see Florida and Atlanta is trying to wipe out every little local known rapper in those states. What would you say though? Local, big time, national, either one.
I would say big time national. the biggest downfall that I see or I've seen over the years, you know, not that I'm like, you know, in those rooms, but just from on the outside looking in, it feels like you don't really understand. Like it's like one thing, like one hit, one song, you know, or just that one moment of being big, and you're gonna be big forever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's like a misconception, and a lot of times, you know, like for instance, I don't know who we can name so many people that were big, you know, a year ago that was like, who? You know?
I ask my kids all the time, what happened to Rich Homie Quan?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
You know what happened to Rich Homie Quan? You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. He got the nerve to go on TV, and it was a VH1 Bad Boy celebration, and they was doing all the Bad Boy hits. And he had the nerve to go up there and try to perform Get Money with Lil' Kim.
Oh, yeah. I seen that.
And didn't know Biggie's verse.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was a rap for him. You hadn't seen him since.
Yeah. And so that's promise. The thing. It's like
that. Always, in that case, know your history, man.
There's always somebody going to be bigger. There's always going to be somebody better. I think for up-and-coming rappers, independent, local, whatever, I think one of the biggest downfalls is like just it's like thinking you bigger than you are. Like just because you rap don't mean we owe you shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or for instance, or you know, mistaking like this online stuff for real life. Like for instance, I did a show in Canada one year, right before the pandemic, I think. And it was a festival out there. And when I got done performing, this dude came. He's like, "Yo, man, like your show is dope." He's like, "I want you to kick it with us the rest of the weekend." He's like, "We got this big party. We celebrating my artist. His name is I don't remember what his name was. His name is so and so. He just we celebrating his single hitting 5 million streams. It's a big celebration. He just hit 5 million streams. He's like showing me the flyer, showing me where his the dudes had 5 million streams, and they done rent cars, popping bottles, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And we get to the club, and it's like a Sunday night at the club, maybe a Saturday at the club. Nobody was there. So you know what I'm saying? Like literally, like it was us, and then like you know a few of their friends. You know what I'm saying? And then people who didn't know what was going on just showed up, right? But he thought he had 5 million streams. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about how we brag about, man. I just did 100,000 streams. I got 5 million followers. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean nothing if it don't translate to people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Real people. He didn't have nobody at his party. So I think we get confused. We get confused with that, or you know, we get confused with that, and we think like, you know, shoot, I deserve this, I deserve that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm better than him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or we're just starting and we ain't got shit, and we talking about shit we ain't got. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm thinking, I'm seeing this. You talk about, you know, who you killed. You talk about how many bitches. You talking about you drove a foreign.
Yeah.
I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? You was in Dubai on a private jet, but then when I get to the mall, you work at the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I want to hear about that. I want to hear about that struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when you get that shit, talk about it when you get it. But like, I'm let down when I heard about a Learjet and models and popping bottles, and then like, you know, you work at the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a listener, I would rather hear about that struggle of, man, my boss ain't shit. I had to be here at 9 a.m. I left at 5. I had to be at a show by 6 to perform. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? My car ran out of gas. My girl's tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Real shit.
I want to hear that real shit. You know what I'm saying? But we watch TV. We watch, you know, social media, and we see, like I said before, we see all these things that influence us, and we just trying shit to see what works. You know what I mean? And so it's working for them, you know. So I'm gonna do it too. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's one. I just think, man, it's just important to be honest, and just I always try to keep it real, man. Like,
all right, you said it, JB. Keep it real with me. You get 5 million streams.
Probably a year.
Well, I'm saying, say you do, and that turns into $5 million.
Nah, 5 million streams doesn't turn into $5 million. That might be.
Well, I'm just saying, like you start climbing.
This is how. Let's just say, if I'm local, rapper, whoever, what I'm saying, young keyboard, right?
Right.
And let's say I drop a song and it hits 5 million streams, right? Then if I'm doing that, I'm already knowing that 5 million, it can't just say coming from Oklahoma City, right?
Sure.
So I'm thinking about, okay, how can I start, traveling and touring, and what I'm saying? And I also know that people gonna be hitting me up from my city to do music with them. Now I know that if we do a co-release of my song, of this feature, then the algorithms will carry over to theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, no doubt.
So that's something you could charge for. You know what I'm saying? Or if let's say you do 5 million streams and you sold 5,000 albums, or you made it to top 5 on iTunes, or top 3 like me. You know what I'm saying, on iTunes, right? And somebody wants to do a song, then it's like, okay, well, I don't always do it, but somebody's like, I want to do a song. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I know if you put this song out, you know what I'm saying, the way it works is, like, I know I can sell music. You know what I'm saying? It's been proven.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know if you put my name on it, you know what I'm saying, like, you might sell some songs. You might sell your album some more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're gonna make it to top 5 or top 3 like I did.
Right.
But if we do it right and we both share, we both cross promote it, I know it might carry over, and you might, you know what I'm saying, sell 100 more. You know what I'm saying? 500 more. I don't know. But the possibility is there. So I could charge for that, because I know, I can make you that money. You pay me $100 for a verse,
right?
You know what I'm saying, or $200 for a verse, $500, whatever. I'm not saying that's what I charge. I'm just saying, like, right. I know you at
don't
least.
Don't get happy, y'all.
I'm just saying, at least there's ways to make it back by using JB's name. You know what I'm saying? So there's ways to do it, but also understanding, like, that still only goes so far. You know what I mean? I'm not crazy to think, I got 5 million streams, or I sell 5,000 albums, or I go, you know what I'm saying, number 1 on iTunes, whatever. I'm not crazy to think that I'm at that moment, I'm Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or I can charge what Drake charges. You know what I'm saying? You just got to, just kind of be smart and understand, like, how these things work, because I've looked at my streams. 1 month it'll be 200,000. The next month it'll be 2,000. You know what I'm saying? It's up and down.
Same thing with these damn podcasts.
Yeah,
man.
you know what I'm saying?
It's at 100 million podcasts going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm with you. That's kind of how it goes. Is the buying streams and buying followers, is that a real thing in the music game?
Probably. I mean, you could buy everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure it is. You know what I'm saying? I know you could buy followers. I don't know about streams, how that would work. But
I was watching that. What's my man's name? Omar from The Wire just died.
Yeah.
Michael K. Williams, I think.
Yeah, that's him.
He got that show, Black, kind of showing people behind the scenes, underground type shit. And it was, one of them was an episode about buying streams, rappers.
Oh, dang.
Buying streams, and they dropped a couple of mainstream top national artists that are involved in that. They got these houses, that, like, right now, there's like a room like this will have 100 cell phones in it, and they all streaming stuff at the same time.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And it's, you know, some
Whatever you say.
overall, you know, stream technology wizard that's running all this stuff. And these rappers and these promoters buy these folks to do that stuff.
That's wild.
And I was like, wow. I was like, that's pretty intricate, man.
Yeah,
you know,
wild.
but and then at the same time, like, you know, you kind of want to make fun of rappers and everything, that everybody that does that. But listen, if that's the name of the game right now, like how much can you point your finger and shame a rapper or anybody that does that? Like they said, Logic got caught doing that.
Damn.
I think Moneybag Yo, like a couple of, you know, mainstream national guys that are out there. They got buying stream cases on them. But, you know, it's like, you know, it ain't the old school, but hey, man, if this is how things are getting done.
For me, that's why the streams is cool. I know people do it. You know, they got the different streaming apps, you know, platforms. But me, like, out the gate, I'm always trying to push iTunes sales. I want you to buy my album. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, like, I know if I'm trying to compete for a top spot, I'm never, like, in the streaming world, like, you know, you're trying to like reach 5 million streams in one day, or for one album, or for one song, against, you know, probably 500,000 people who already have 5 million, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got other ones who got, you know, 4 million, 3 million, 2, 1, down to 100,000, 500,000, you know what I'm saying, streams. So like for me to try to do that in one day is crazy, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm selling music, I'm always pushing, buy my album on iTunes or buy my vinyl, you know what I'm saying? Because those are the things that are tracked differently, and it's not as many people to compete with, not as many numbers to compete with. Like, on the, you know, even though, let's say I drop an album tomorrow on iTunes, right? And let's say, you know, tomorrow or tonight at midnight, you know, I've already had pre-orders up for a year, 4 months, 5 months, let's say a month. Mm-hmm. And over that month, I've already made, you know, 5,000 sales, right? When it drops at midnight, it's going to drop with 5,000 sales. The chances of, you know what I'm saying, you know, 20 people, 20 artists doing that in one day are way less than trying to compete with the chances of somebody doing that with streams. Okay. So that's why I'm always like, buy my album, buy my album, buy my album. You know what I mean?
Speaking of, and I saw you know, you bring up the vinyl side of it and pressing up vinyl records and things like that. And that's become a lot more prevalent with rappers and producers. And I've noticed like big time mainstream guys doing that. But I can't lie, like when I was at the station, I don't know, maybe this was 7-8 years ago, and you had like a whole little vinyl set for the Stephanie joint. Mm-hmm. And that album, that was shocking to me. The fact that we had an Oklahoma artist even thinking like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many people still have record players. So are those for strictly the DJs? And is this just to get a foot in?
Some DJs do. But it's, you know, I think a lot of it is for record collectors.
Just the nostalgia purpose of it?
The nostalgia purpose of it.
Okay.
And then some of it's just the to have something. You know what I'm saying?
They dope though.
You know what I mean?
It's dope.
Like this new one I'm dropping, the box I'm doing for this one. Like, you know, we make sure that we have the regular all black ones we're selling, and we have the ones that are like different colors, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, and all that stuff gets counted, you know what I'm saying? Every time somebody buys a record, a vinyl from me, it gets counted, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, you know, you know what I'm saying? And also, like, I sell, like, this last, I dropped everything I put out in the past releases have been on vinyl. I've done some side stuff too, but the last one, I mean, I was shipping to Taiwan. We were shipping to Japan, Europe, Africa. You know what I'm saying? Really? I mean, like people, like record stores. You know what I'm saying? Russia, Germany, ordering like you know what I'm saying, 5 and 6 of the same record. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
LA, of course, LA, New York. I did a distribution through Fat Beats, which was like a dream of mine. You know what I'm saying? To have my, you know what I'm saying, even though like the actual store is closed, but they still have their own line distribution where they sell the records. But you know, I did distribution through Fat Beats, like to actually get a check in the mail that said Fat Beats Records on it. I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? That was a dream. You know what I'm saying?
That's live, man.
So
that's big time shit, man.
So yeah, I think that the way music is going, and you know, people not being able to have anything in their hand, that's just something they can put in their hand for the most part.
Right.
But there are people who, you know, they just love playing records, they love buying records, or it's just like the nostalgia of it.
And do records, do they have that digital sound, or do we have that old school warm analog?
I think now you do have the warm analog sound still, but I think now the quality is way better, depending on who presses it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The last one that I did, the short run I did of that EP, it was like a little bit more lo-fi quality pressing. Everything else has been like high quality pressing. You know what I'm saying? And sounds real good.
The last joint, This World Is So Fragile, I'm glad I got you, in 2020. As It Is in Heaven in 2018. 2018, you dropped 3 joints. 2017, Black Future. 2017, Black Future was the Black Box edition. Year before that, in 2016, was Black Future. That same year, you dropped Juneteenth. And what, before you had Love Don't Live Here and Lucky Me in 2015. And before that, 2013, before that, 2009. Did you find something right there? Or was that kind of the MERS plug and things kind of picked up right there for you?
Yeah, things just kind of picked up. And I just learned like the game of like putting music out, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, realizing I had an audience now, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So y'all, they started buying my shit.
Yeah.
All of a sudden. How did that pandemic do for artists, for you personally?
Man,
was it stressful?
It was stressful, but the only thing I wish I could have done was go on tour. Because I dropped This World So Fragile and Cruel in 2020 during the pandemic. But other than like that album sold the most.
It didn't mess with the promotion, anything like that?
Nah, it made me more creative with promotion. You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to
I'm locked in the house.
Yeah, I did some really cool creative stuff. Instead of having an album release show, I did like a art installation on Northeast 23rd where like, you know, you go up to the windows and you look inside and see the art. You know what I'm saying? It was like all it's art. It's probably my album.
I remember that, yeah. I remember that.
And then, you know, the vinyl sold out like, I think the vinyl sold out like within a month, you know, during the pandemic. T-shirts sold out. I did cassettes, they sold out. I did CDs, they sold out.
You did cassettes?
Yeah, everything.
Who was buying cassettes?
I did 3 cassettes. I did a red cassette, a blue cassette, and a green cassette. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And then the album was number 3 on iTunes charts for like a month. Then it went to like number 6 for a month. Then it was like number 10. You know what I'm saying? Like it was clicking.
Like everybody in the nation, your album was number 3?
Yeah. Everybody
in the nation, in the world, or everybody who just has their album on iTunes?
So just strictly iTunes. So everybody.
That's tough, man. Who doesn't have the album on iTunes? That's tough, man. I congratulations for that, man. But
that's something I like now. I try to do because I know everybody can't do it, and everybody hasn't been able to do it, and it's not easy to do. So like that first album I did with MERS, Everything Was Beautiful. I think that one was like number 50 or something like that, 40. I was like, man, that's cool because it showed like the top 200 albums. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, dang, that's dope. And I didn't know how many I sold. You know what I'm saying? To even be there. Because
at 40 or 50?
Yes, what you call it, put it out. So I never seen the numbers for it. But then when I did Black Future, I put that one out myself. And that one was number 25. And I was like, okay.
So I'm climbing.
And I said, man, now I want to get to number, I was like, I got to hit number 10. And just learn how to like strategize the music and how I release it and stuff like that, and the dates and all of that.
When to drop it.
You know, paying attention to all that stuff.
Whatever you say.
And so whenever I was number 25, I think that's when I almost made it to Billboard, and I was like, man, okay, now I want to make it on Billboard. You know what I'm saying? And then so This World So Fragile and Cruel came out. I was just trying to get number 10 because the last one was 25. I was like, if I get number 10, I'm top 10 on iTunes, I'm selling like that.
Yeah.
That's all I need is just that screenshot of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that mug was like number 3, bro.
What's your hottest market?
Yeah, it's probably Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona, LA, New York, Atlanta, Minneapolis.
So the hot spots?
Yeah. And then, you know, because I did that European tour, Germany, Sweden, Switzerland. So.
And when you go over to places like that, you're taking merch and and all that and CD and vinyl stuff with you?
Yeah, everything.
That's a heavy push, man. Real quick, man, before I let you get out of here, I know you got a lot of stuff going. What was that line? Black man in the red state, I'm a starving artist.
Yeah, that song is Praying Hands.
Okay, Praying Hands. Statements like that in a state like Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. When you make statements like that, you're not afraid to bark back and clap back at local politicians, things like that. How does that make the team feel? How does that make I don't know how many white people you got in the crew, but does that make some folks kind of shy away from working with you? Maybe some people in your own team say, I don't know, man, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as music goes, like I really don't have a team. You know what I'm saying? I got people that, you know, that help support me here and there, you know, or, you know, things like that. But I don't really have a team of people that I roll with. I'm usually by myself when it's with the music stuff.
When it's time to make business decisions.
So business is different.
Emmy people.
So yeah, business now. Before I was really like was conscious of like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I realized, man, if somebody, especially white, if somebody has a problem with me saying something like that, my music ain't for them anyways. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them at a show. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, you know, I just know whoever even if it's for instance, you know, people always talk about me and the mayor, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we do stuff together all the time, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, if he was ever like, you know what I'm saying, man, I don't know, because you said, then I'd be like, you know, he know, you know, I'm here for all that smoke. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Right. And I'll do whatever comes with it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, him, like the superintendent of the school, like he texts me lyrics for my song all the time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, I just think that, you know, I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. Is be a voice, especially a voice in a place and in rooms where not everybody who looks like us gets to be. And I know if I'm in those places and in those rooms and I'm not saying, you know, what I'm supposed to say, then, you know, the homies, people like you gonna be like, yeah, bro, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
You wasting time, man.
You wasting time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're in there for nothing.
Yeah, get that to somebody else who ain't gonna squander it. You know what I mean? Because I got people who, you know what I'm saying, who check me on that stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like my family, my mom, you know what I'm saying? My sisters, my cousins, you know what I'm saying? Like who, you know what I'm saying, who really out here, you know what I'm saying? Like who, you know, if I'm, you know, trying to please these white people with what I say, I'm letting a whole community of people down. And whoever these white people are, and whatever proximity they are with me, whether they working with me, supporting me, or you know, whatever, giving me a platform, they gotta know this is what come with it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm representing a group of people that need to be represented. You know what I mean? And yeah, and I just, you know, and if they don't like it, then
roll with it or get rolled over, man.
Exactly.
One last thing. I saw this the other day, and it made me cringe. I understand fully where he was coming from, but it made me cringe a little bit. And it was watching Irv Gotti and Ja Rule on Drink Champs the other day. I don't know if you saw this.
I watched the whole thing.
Irv Gotti said, and it just right now, you know what I'm saying, the tone of America right now, it was just a cringy statement. Mm-hmm. Irv Gotti said, boy, you know, he was talking about selling his masters, and he got $250 million. And it was life is lovely right now. And he said, boy, ain't nothing like having a rich white man put his arm around you and send you to the heavens so you can fly. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was wild.
I was like, Irv, I mean, I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right? But
that's not something you want to teach people to
come
embrace.
On, man. Right. Like, come on, Jay. Is that what we on right now? Nah,
yeah, I hope not. But you know, he was drunk as shit. I don't know. I think
right.
I think that and a lot of times, you know, for us, for black people, white people are a sign of success, or a sign of making it, mm-hmm. or a sign of acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you know, like for him, it's that, you know, having white man come put his arm around you and, you know what I'm saying, show you some love. For another person might be, you know, moving into a white neighborhood or getting their kid into a white school. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? For somebody else might be just being able to have names you can drop of white people and say, yeah, I know. So, you know what I'm saying? But that right there, I think is the indoctrination of white supremacy on us, to where we feel like in order to be successful, or to look successful, in order to feel accomplished, we have to be accepted by white people, because, you know.
You think Supreme liked that?
Huh?
Think Supreme was fond of that statement? His homie?
I don't know. I mean, probably not. Probably not. I mean, like, Preem was like, he got it on his own. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the white folks tried to take his life from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
5% and all that.
Yeah.
What do you know about rappers? Because it seems like rappers, like even athletes, Kyrie Irving, like KD admitted on an interview with David Letterman that he's a Muslim. Like, is that connection with the FOI and Farrakhan? For what you know, if you don't know, that's fine. But is that true? Is that real? Are they really trying to convert over, or they just want that protection and vouching and security team?
I don't even know, but I do know they security team is strong.
Hey, ain't nobody stepping through the FOI.
Yeah,
man.
I think for the FOI, you know what I'm saying. I don't know. I do know. I mean, even Michael Jackson had them as his security at one point.
I think I heard Killer Mike say he was a Muslim. Yeah.
But I know when it comes to the 5%ers, like, that's not just something you fall into. That's not something you can play around with. Like, you know what I mean? They just can't be your security. Like, they don't, you know what I mean? Like, they for real about theirs. You got to know your shit with them. You know what I mean? So. And
I just think when Irv said that, I said, that's not, come on, man. Come on, man. Is that what we're pushing right now? Anyway, man, and who else to talk about something like that than this guy right here? Jabee Williams, hip-hop artist, entrepreneur, business owner, mentor, activist, and a 2-time Emmy Award winner?
Yeah.
I didn't know about the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, man. I'm going to have to get a look at those, at one of them on the next go-round.
I got you, bro.
I appreciate it, JB. One last time, man. Give all your socials out there and your information.
Yeah, everything is at My Name is JB, and JB is spelled Jabee. And that's how you can find me, or just search Jabee anywhere and I'll come up.
Hey man, my man Jabee Williams, hip hop artist extraordinaire in the OKC. Got the 405 all on his back, man. I appreciate you, JB. Hopefully we can do this again next time, man. Continued success and prayers, my brother.
Thank you so much. We gotta do it again, because I know I'll probably listen and be like, oh my God, I said something so stupid. I always do that.
Hey, like I say, I'll send you the rough cut, man. If you want me to take something out, it's not an issue, man. We can go through it.
It's all good.
No doubt. Jabee Williams, folks. Whatever you say, podcast, huh?
I don't think it's white folks. I think it's Negroes. I do not think this is white folks. It could be. It could be white folks. But I think it's Negro. I think a Negro did this.
This is the Whatever You Say podcast.
Just niggas who is already doing this shit for each other. And niggas is waiting on entertainers to do it for, but it's real people out here that's been doing this shit that niggas never look at. And that's the fucked up part, cause it's I need a sensational nigga to tell me how to do something. But it's a nigga in your neighborhood that's been showing you the fucking way. You see what I'm saying? But niggas don't care about that shit.